Hypotermia. It is a dangerously low body temperature below 35 degrees Celsius. Consideration: other types of injury caused by the cold affecting the extremities are called peripheral cold injury. Of these, the freezing is the most common injury. Freeze. Injuries that do not give freezing and presented by exposure to cold tips conditions include trash food and food conditions by immersion. Timberlines or tips of injury. In most cases, it occurs after a long period in the cold. The most common causes include staying endurance during the winter without sufficient protective clothing, falling into the cold water of a lake, river, or other body of water, wearing wet clothing in wet or very cold, giving exertions or eating or not enough in cold water. Symptoms: as a person develops hypothermia, slowly loses their ability to think and more. In fact, you may even be unaware of the need for emergency treatment, like which someone with hypothermia is likely to suffer freezing. Symptoms include drowsiness, weakness, and loss of conditions called pale skin, confusions, uncontrollable shivering, slow heart rate or respiratory. Without primary treatment, can lethargy, cardiac arrest, shock, and coma. Hypothermia can be fatal. First aid. Tell the following step if you think something as hypothermia. If the person has any symptom of hypothermia, especially confusions or trouble thinking, immediately call your local emergency number. It's 911. First, if the person is unconscious, check airway, breathing and circulation. Start giving wristway, breathing or CPR necessary. If the victim is breathing at a rate of less than 6 breaths per minute, begin giving recursive breathing. Second, take the person to an injured area to room temperature and cover with arm blockage. If you cannot go to a covered seat, remove the person from the wind and use it blockade to provide insulation from the cold growth. Cover the head and neck of the person to help retain body heat. Third, one inside, remove any wind or concentrating. Third, one inside, remove any wind or constricting clothes and repelling with dry clothing. Fourth, warm the person if necessary. Use your warm body heat to help. Apply arm compressions to the neck, chest, while ongoing. If the victim is alert and can exhale solo, give arm treated non-alcoholic fluids to aid the warming. Fifth, stay with the person until medical help arrives.
A dangerous low body temperature, low 35 degrees Celsius. Consideration: other types of injuries caused by the cold affecting the extremities are caused freezing, and the reason by spring to the cold damp condition include red food and food condition in emergency. Children are types injuries of injuries causes and by freezing not taking place in cool and dry condition. You are more like to sue hypothermia if very old, all very young, all, all very young, uh, chronical ill, especially the hypothermia occurs when the body loses more heat than heat can generate in most causes. It occurs after long periods in the cold. The most common causes include stay indoors during the winter with sufficient protective clothing, falling into the cold waters of a lake, river of the or of the body of water, water with come with coupling in the windy of very cold heavy exertion and hurting of not and no in cold water symptoms as a person that develop hypothermia slowly loses their ability time and moving in the fog. You might even by unaware of the need for emergency treatment, looking ways. Someone with hypothermia is likely to deserve freezing. Symptoms hypothermia can be fatal. Uh, Check it. I was writing a circulation start giving recurse writing of the CPR. The CPR is necessary blank to the province is in solution making several layers of clothing waterfall and the window break to the paris of shock a scarf and the head covering here here uh, I, I, I bought I bought extremely cool temperature especially with high in winds with cloud pure circulation is more uh, likely to occur due to active uh, wearing to fake clothing or the both comfort position, fatigue, certain medicaments, smoking, alcohol, and snuff.
Hypothermia. It is a naturally low body temperature below 35 degrees Celsius. Consideration. Other types of injuries caused by cold affecting the extremities are called peripheral cold injury of the freezing. Is the most common injury freeze. Injuries that not give a freezing and the present by exposure to cold down condition include strange food and food condition by immersion chillblains are a type of injury caused by freezing not taking place in cold and dry. Protective including feeling into cold weather of light rivers on their body and weather. Wearing well clothing in windy or very heavy exertion eating not cold weather. Symptoms: as a person develops hypothermia, slowly lose the ability to think and move. In fact, you often unaware of the need an emergency treatment, like with someone with hypothermia and likely to suffering freezing. Symptoms: hypothermia is the person has any symptoms of hypothermia, especially confusion, throat thinking. Immediately your local emergency number, 911. Number one, if the person is unconscious, check airway, breathing, circulation, and start giving rescue CPR if necessary. If the victim breathing at rate of less than 6 per minute, begging giving rescue breathing. Number two, take to the person and indoor air to room temperature cover with warm blade, non-alcoholic, non-alcoholic fluid the wearing. Number five, stay with the person until medical help. It's yours not be. Do not assume the ceremony body being motionless in the cold is really dead. Don't know. Uses direct hair, such weather, heating, fast hair lamp, or water person. Call your hair care provider. Call your local emergency number. Anytime you suspect insomnia and hypothermia, keep fears while awaiting the emergency assistance. Prevention: before you speak, stand outside in the cold. Don't drink alcohol or smoke. Drink plenty fluid, foam, and rest. Uh, Use sweet clothing and cold temperature to protect body. Meetings, not gloves. Several layers of clothing, weatherproof, the rig to pair of shorts, scarf, and covering hair. Avoid extremely cold temperature, especially while high winds. Wet cloth for circulation is more likely to occur due to core fatigue, sustained medication, smoking, alcohol, and snow.
Hypothermia. It is a dangerously low body temperature, below 35 degrees Celsius. Considerations. Other types of injuries caused by the cold affecting the extremities are called peripheral injuries by cold. Of these, the freezing is the most common injury freeze. Injuries that do not give freezing and presented by exposure to cold damp conditions include trench foot and foot condition by immersion. Chest lines are the type of injury caused by freezing for hypothermia is very old or very young, chronically ill, especially those suffering from heart or circulation problems, malnourished, too tired, taking certain prescription drugs, under the influence or alcohol or drugs. Causes. Hypothermia occurs when the body loses more heat than it can generate. In most cases, it occurs after long periods in the cold. The most common causes include stay outdoors during the winter without sufficient protective clothing, falling into the cold waters of a lake, river, or other body of water, wearing wet clothes in windy or very cold, heavy exertion or eating or nodding out in cold weather. Symptoms: as a person develops hypothermia, slowly lose their ability to think and move. In fact, you may even be unaware of the need for emergency treatment, like